Hi folks, James Donaldson again. Just going to, pop out one of these little clips for you again. A lot of people keep asking me now to put more out, which is absolutely wonderful. I really enjoy doing them too, so it's kind of like a win-win. So I'm going to keep doing those for you. I wanted to share with you just my view, where I currently sat up Nantigama Hill, lovely Llandudno, Anglesey beyond, and then over towards the Conedau. You've got Conway there and down into the Conway Valley. Absolutely gorgeous, lovely crisp morning, but found a little nook out of the wind so that I can speak to you today. And I wanted really to talk about our language, our words, and our dialogues, the things we maybe say about our life experiences, about the world at the moment. It would be really easy right now to shape the world in a really negative context. That'd be really understandable. You know, we're seeing numbers increase of poor souls who've lost their life or are becoming infected with the COVID virus. We see experiences of people taking things from shops for their own needs. We might consider that quite inconsiderate, selfish. We might call them names. We might see people who are disobeying the government's guidelines at the moment, and we might make judgments about them. And we might also do the same internally with ourselves, and judgment about us. And it's that specifically, that way in which we shape our world, that I just wanted for us to think about collectively. You know, psychology says that we don't really see the world in an accurate way. We see it through our own personal filter, and that filter is influenced by all sorts of things. How we were brought up, you know, what the significant people in our lives thought about the world that influenced us, our own experience as we go that can shape and change the way we think about the world, and our values, our beliefs about the world shape and put in place this filter. And it's through that filter then that we see our own virtual reality of the world. Not entirely true, not entirely accurate, but our own personal version. And that can be a great thing. It can be something that really makes us feel fulfilled and enhanced. If we view the world as a wonderful place that's filled with acts of kindness, that's filled with humanity, that's filled with nature and beauty, then we go about generally as happy individuals. But if we view the world as being filled with hatred and anger and resentment and miscommunication, I should say, and then we start to form these very firm, fixed views of the world, and we might even view ourselves that way. We might shape ourselves as being unwarranted or unworthy, lacking, less than, and it's those sort of filters and those sorts of what we might call ruminations, those internal thoughts about the world or ourselves, that are often strongly present when people are diagnosed with conditions such as depression or anxiety or mental ill health. And so I kind of wondered if it might be useful for you to just consider how you think about the world at the moment, how you think about yourself. Because if you are filtering the world through the difficulties that we're facing and through the poor behaviours that we might encounter only, then what tends to happen is the brain starts to look for those things, and we see more of them, and it sort of supports and firms up our view. So sometimes it's useful to change the tape, change the record, change the thought process, and maybe ask different questions. So instead of asking, you know, why is this happening to us now, or why is society so mean to one another, maybe ask, you know, what wonderful acts of kindness am I seeing in the world right now? You know, how is humanity presenting itself in a special way at the moment? And it might be useful for us to really start to look at that, asking questions like, what's good about this situation? You know, has it brought you closer to your family? Does it mean you get to spend more time? Are you able to spend some time on the things that you would normally miss because of the other activities you've got to cram into your busy lives? You know, so maybe just changing up those questions. What have I got to learn about myself in this time? How can I develop as a human being? What's great about being me? What are my strengths? How am I a valid person? And you might feel that the answer to these questions is immediately negative. And that's normal. That's just the way that brains work and the way that you might work. But trust me when I say, if we practice asking those alternative questions, those more positive framed questions, they start to alter the brain. They start to alter the mind. It's known as neuroplasticity, and the brain alters with the input that we put into it. So let's try another input. Let's try something different. I would love to hear about your ideas, about the questions that you might ask alternatively. I would love to hear about the habits you have to stay positive in this difficult time. So please share them. I'll get this video out, not into the social media streams the way that I do, and it would be lovely to hear back. Please share them too. I know that there are people out there in the world at the moment who might really need these types of tools, and I will keep them coming. Lots of love to you all. You take care, and I'll see you soon. All the best.